Hi, it's Andrew with A&A Lawn Care, and welcome back to another podcast of A&A, where we want to give you all the insight to keep your lawn and landscaping looking its best all year long. And today, I'm fortunate enough to have Brooke with me, one of our sales account representatives. Brooke's been with us for over 5 years, 6 years now,
I think it's 7.
7 years now. So
Yeah.
can't thank you enough for that. And I lean on Brooke a lot of times for many technical questions that I come across, and that's why I invited her on today because as we want to keep your lawn and landscape looking the best all year long, fall is the perfect time to do that, and also fall is a perfect time not to do that. So I wanted to go over the do's and don'ts of fall pruning and fall cleanup. And I have Brooke with us today, and we're going to touch on all things fall pruning, and we'll go from there. So one thing I think about fall pruning is the time's right, the time's not right, and it's about knowing what you're pruning and what you're not pruning, when to do it, when not to do it. So as we lean into that, there's always a thing with fall pruning, and we say the do's of fall pruning. Brooke, when I say what to do with fall pruning, what comes to mind from there?
So first, the easy one. If it's dead, diseased, or damaged, take it out. That's always a good move and helps the plant focus energy on healthy growth the next season. Second, light shaping of evergreens is totally fine once temperatures cool down and the growth slows. Just avoid heavy shaping or taking off too much at once. Third, when the plant's fully dormant, meaning the leaves have dropped and the plant's shut down for the season, you can prune a little heavier if you need to. And then small cleanups like removing crossing branches or thin weed growth is also great this time of year. The key is to keep it light.
Keep it light.
Yep.
And another good rule of thumb is if you don't know, don't do it.
Yep.
I to go by. So this year's kind of been a weird year for us. I would say our fall's a little bit later. We've had some more warm temperatures, and as we prep our fall prunings, most of those are probably taking place beginning of November, mid to November, and by that time, temperatures should be cool enough to where, as Brooke just mentioned, the growth has either stopped or slowed down enough to where it's not going to rejuvenate after we do the fall pruning. And then that's kind of the do's. Some of the don'ts. What comes to mind when I say that?
I would say the biggest one is don't touch anything that blooms on old wood. That'd be things like lilacs, azaleas, certain hydrangeas. Those all put their buds out right after they bloom. So pruning now means you're just taking off next year's flowers. Second, no hard shaping or major rejuvenation pruning in the fall. That encourages tender new growth, and that's just going to get zapped by the frost. And third, never prune when it's wet. Moisture can spread disease through open cuts. Wait till it's dry, and then also clean your tools between the plants.
Got it. And I know fall. Everybody likes to fall pruning because the leaves have fallen, the beds are dirty. Now we can see the landscape, and sometimes people get a little carried away. So knowing what to do and when to do it, how to do it is always a good thing. And if I mention a couple plants to you, I'm going to run down quickly. Tell me what you would do. Changes.
Know your variety, and then when it blooms, if it blooms on old wood, leave it alone now. If it blooms on new wood, you can prune it later in winter.
Makes sense. And how about roses?
Roses, leave them alone until late winter or early spring. Just take off anything that's clearly dead.
And say like evergreens, maybe like a boxwood, deciduous evergreen, something like that.
Light pruning only. Don't do any hard cuts this time of year. Just clean them up for shape.
Perfect, makes sense. I would say those all three are pretty common in the landscapes that we install and the landscapes that we maintain. And probably three big ones that, especially the hydrangeas, you could really mess up a bloom cycle if you don't know what you're doing. And we tell our crews that, we try to train them, to know what it is, but if you don't know, don't do it. And we'll fall back on that. Hydrangeas are always key. If you don't do it in the fall, you can always wait till the spring, and by that time you'll know if it is going to bloom on old or new wood, if budding out on the old wood, or if it's coming up from the bottom. So there's so many different varieties of hydrangeas out there now; it's hard to keep up sometimes with
Yeah.
what that is. So yeah, so there you have it, folks. The do's and don'ts of fall pruning. If this helped you, great. If not, and you want to rely on a professional, give us a phone call. Be happy to help, and we can prepare your landscape for next spring by doing the correct fall pruning now. Take care, and we'll see you next time.